Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, you know? Just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. I had, for years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hi, I'm Ashley Flowers, and if you're like me and grew up watching America's Most Wanted and reading Nancy Drew, then hi, you're a crime junkie. And I bet that passion for solving mysteries never went away, which is why we've assembled a team of reporters to dig deep into all the cases we still obsess over. Each Monday, my best friend Britt and I will bring you a case that you won't be able to stop thinking and talking about. So join us by listening to Crime Junkie wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder Express.
Yeah, choo-choo.
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us all aboard the murder train.
Hey,
pulling away from the station, and wow, do we have a weird one for you today. Oh, boy. I know every Express is crazy, but every episode, never mind just the Expresses, but this is, wow, is this weird stuff today.
This one's quickly becoming my favorite thing we do.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for this today. But before we get that's a really weird thing to say. You know what? I take that back. It's not like the murder. It's a weird story. That really sounds awful if you're just tuning in and you're like, who are these guys? My God, they're awful. Not how we mean it at all. Trust me. We'll get to that in a second. Before we do, though, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your tickets. The tickets for the 2023 live tour are on sale, at least part of them are anyway. Yeah. The first half, about through May, is on sale, especially Cleveland on February 10th, St. Louis February 11th. Those tickets are going very fast. They're the first two shows. So if you want to go to those, get in there right now. Might be a lovely, lovely holiday gift for someone.
Sure will.
Especially last second if you're hearing this when it comes out. Normally, this is the day, December 23rd. That's a good time. You can, boom, done. Look at that. Pow. So check that out. Shutupandgivememurder.com. And then for also patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all your bonus material. Whole back catalog, you know about it. 150 episodes, but tons of stuff to binge. Every other week you get 2 new episodes, one crime and sports, one small town murder, and you get it all for just $5 a month or whatever you want to do. So there you go. And this week, because it's Christmas Eve, they'd be coming out on. We're only going to do one bonus episode because we're gonna spend time with our family this year.
God damn it.
It's busy. My son's here. It's a lot going on. So we're going to do one, but we're going to make it a doozy. We're going to talk about the worst comedy gigs that we've ever been involved in our entire life. We both of us. So a lot of them were together too. So that'll be fun. We have most of them were together.
You better tell Halloween story. I can't wait.
Oh, it's coming. Don't worry about that. So that was amazing. So it's so much fun. I'm telling you, this is what I mean. So patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of that. No further ado. Let's get into this. We got a lot of show. I think it's time to sit back wherever you are.
Oh boy.
I don't care where you are. Where are you? In the gym? On your office? Hop up on your cubicle desk, stomp your feet, and shout, Shut up and give me murder. Okay, I hope you get another job soon. I really do. I'm rooting for you. Okay.
Get your 401k payout.
Let's go on a trip, Jimmy. What do you say?
Yeah.
We're going to Kansas this week.
Hey.
Oh, exciting. We're going to Atchison, Kansas.
Atchison.
Atchison. Atchison. Population 10,427.
Okay.
But it seems smaller than that. I don't understand. Median
10,000 ain't shit, James.
No, but it seems like
so
it's
small.
It seems like it's 1,000 though. Just in terms of how the towns are, like certain. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess if it's in the middle of nowhere by itself, 10,000 is pretty small.
It's bleak.
Yeah, median household income here $41,283, so lower than the national average by a bit. And then median home price though only $92,900 here, so pretty affordable. History of this town. Oh man, this is fucking. There's some weird stuff going on in this town here. Well, in 1854, men from Platte City, Missouri, crossed the Missouri River and staked out a town, and they named it for David Rice Atchison, who was a Missouri senator. Boy, I sure like our senator. We should name a town after him. Now, the senator...
In another state, for Christ's
from
sake.
somewhere else. The senator went on to serve as the... Of course, Kansas was... Well, they were fighting over... Never mind. Atchison himself was the president of the United States for one day.
Oh,
Didn't
is
know
that
about
right?
that, did you? Yeah, never heard about him, right?
No.
One day, March 4th, 1849, Zachary Taylor refused to take the oath of office on a Sunday because it's the Lord's Day, he said. So,
he didn't do shit that day.
in honor of how that fell, Atchison ended up having to be like the fill-in guy for a day, like in case. So if war broke out that day, I don't even. He must have been, couldn't have been. He was a senator, so he was probably he was the president of the Senate. Okay, I get how that works.
Yeah, there you go.
So, that would be the vice president. So I don't know how that would be. Okay, never mind.
What the fuck was he?
He's something. During the Great Mormon Migration westward, the city leaders persuaded the Mormons to make this all of them stopped in this town to resupply. So it made the business boom here because there was just wagon trains full of Mormons. Well, yeah, when you have 8 wives back then, you got a big family. You need a lot of provisions. So it's a good business.
Cleaned them out of tampons, probably.
Yeah, and then the other, they're always pregnant, I would assume back then. We got to keep everyone pregnant. So
there's no bleeders around here.
It's the 1800s. We're like, we got farm work to do. Come on, let's go, pump them out. So all the other towns around it then withered because nobody stopped there. Everybody just went to Atchison. In 1958, they started calling it the city that refused to die. Because they rebuilt from 2 flash floods that basically destroyed the downtown area in the same year in 1958. So rather than just giving up, they just trudged on and called it the city that refused to die. Refused.
His best 1-2, and they kept going.
So here's reviews of this town quickly. 5 stars is this one. Charming, historic town with incredible homes. The beautiful homes were built in the late 1800s, as there were more millionaires per capita living here than anywhere else. Okay. There are brick-lined streets. streets. Atchison is famous for being the most haunted town in Kansas. There's actually the Things to Do is about that, with all sorts of haunted events, including the Haunted History Trolley Tours. Great history from the Lewis and Clark expedition. They passed by here to the home of Amelia Earhart. Her grandparents lived here. No shit. It's not her home. It's her grandparents' home, I believe. Atchison is set on rolling hills along the mighty Missouri River, where you can visit the Riverfront Park and see the bridge to Missouri light up at night. Oh, boy. We came to visit 5 years ago, fell in love with Atchison, and made it our home 2 years later. The smaller San Francisco in the Midwest is a sheer delight. Calm
How dare you?
down. Calm down.
Show me your Golden Gate Bridge.
Show me the ocean, people. Show me the golden sunset over the bay, and I'll talk to you. But other than that...
Show me a Girardelli's. I don't give a fuck about anything else.
Can I get a good... Can I get a Cioppino that's good in this town? I'm saying not, probably. So...
You got a wharf of any sort.
No wharf. You're wharfless, goddammit. Here is 3 stars. People can find jobs, but they aren't good ones. Well, that's not good. 2 stars. The homes are old and most are unclean. Unclean. Dirty would be fun. Unclean sounds like a weird religious term. Like, it's unclean. It's unclean here.
She's been soiled.
I don't like her. She's unclean. Here are 1 star, or is 1 star. The air is so gross from the factories in town, and the weather is always so muggy from the humidity. Well, yeah, that means humidity, so yeah. The cows are always so fat because of their bigness. Like, what? Yeah.
It's always so bright because of the sunshine.
You know, because of the wow, the lightness. Not even the sunshine, the lightness of it. It's always so bright because of the light. Yeah. No one ever wants to go hang outside or play in the grass. It's not an outdoorsy atmosphere. All right, then.
Yeah, eventually you outgrow playing in the grass.
I would say so. Let's do one more. 1 star. Okay. Not much happens here. I've lived here my whole life, and all I've seen is lots of crime and people not caring about the community. There are not many pleasant people in this town. Jesus. There's not much, and it's unclean. There's not much to do here and has no entertainment opportunities other than the local movie theater.
Get out, play in the grass.
I mean, well, it's too muggy. I 100% do not recommend this town. There is no reason at all to come here. Avoid at all costs. Okay, well, it's honest anyway.
It's a nice community of angry folks, evidently.
Angry, pissed off people. Things to do in this town. The Sally House. It's supposed to be one of the most haunted houses in the country. Built in the mid-1800s. Dr. Charles Finney practiced medicine from the house, using the bottom floor for surgery and examination, and a bedroom as an office. And they lived upstairs, the family did. And so it's this weird haunted house that has been like on the market and off the market for a few years. So apparently there's a lot of paranormal activities there. They call it the man-hating ghost, apparently.
Oh.
In the 90s, it was on a paranormal investigations TV show called Sightings, which I don't remember at all. And it was also on Ghost Adventures in 2015. So you can go visit that.
Should have a real bitchy Twitter account.
Oh, absolutely. The man-hating ghost. That's hilarious. Apparently, some visitors have claimed to have been scratched until they bled, but only guys.
Jesus.
Only men.
Oh. Well,
yeah,
maybe she's just horny.
I was gonna say, and it's on their back. So you know what, sir? Maybe you have some explaining to do. Why is your back all scratched up and nowhere else? Huh? How's that work?
We just high five you. You did well, sir. You did the way she liked it.
Sir, are you banging a ghost? Are you banging a Victorian ghost? Is that what's happening here? I'd like you to admit that. You cannot lead the town council anymore. I'm sorry. You're off.
Scratched your back. That's missionary, my friend.
That's what I mean.
Flipped her over.
Well, she's from the 1800s. You don't want to get too adventurous with her. I don't know if she knows about all these moves that you're pulling.
Take it.
Yeah, can't be like doggy style. I think she'd be like, what now?
Perhaps that's why she hates men, because they're not doing it like she wants.
Maybe, or not enough. Maybe this guy was he was laying down the hammer the way she wanted it laid. So
all the guys are scratched up.
All scratched up. That said, let's talk about a murder not committed by a ghost. Okay. Let's talk about a couple of people first off. Here we go. Number 1, Stephen Dennis Sexton.
Yeah.
Sexton. He's the sexton. Yeah, that's him. Sex right in his name there. Yeah. He's 31 years old, back in 1992 when our story takes place, in February of 82. He's born September 17th, 1960. He's a nurse, this guy.
Oh.
So, yeah, Stephen Dennis Sexton, he's a nurse, and he's going out with on and off. Right now he's living with this woman, but they've had an on and off relationship, mainly because she's married, so that's a problem.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, whoever you're into, their spouse can get in the way of your relationship. That's a problem if they're married.
This is a filthy story from Jump.
Oh, right from Jump. Yeah. She's 23. Trina Smith is her name, 23. Okay. Also a nurse. They met at work. Now she works somewhere else, but they met at work. Yeah. She previously worked at the medical lodge where Sexton also worked as a nurse. Okay. Now she works at Mount Saint Scholastica Convent in the infirmary, and she's a nurse there. Yeah. Trina she has 2 young daughters from her marriage here. She grew up in she grew up in Atchison, actually. Went to grade school there, attended Atchison High School, got her certified nursing assistant certificate from Northwest Area Vocational Technical School in Atchison, which sounds like where they were giving the scholarship gift certificate away if you won Miss American Teen Princess in Drop Dead Gorgeous. It's exactly what that sounds like, I think.
Yeah, your scholarship is certainly a gift card here.
Yeah, here you go. It's just a piece of paper with it's written
down.
It's written down. Yeah, it's somebody's handwriting. There's like cartoon characters on the actual thing. You're like, this doesn't seem real. But no, she went there. She received her certificate. She married Thomas Smith Thomas E. Smith on April 9th, 1986. That's her husband at the time while she's going out with old Stevie Sexton over there. She has 2 daughters. Her daughters' names are China Dawn Smith. China Dawn Smith. And then listen to this. How narcissistic do you have to be as a man to be Thomas Smith, but be like, God damn it, she keeps spitting out girls. I'll just name one of them after me. So
named her Tommy.
The other daughter's name is Tommy Joe Smith. Tommy with an I. Tommy Joe Smith. You narcissistic asshole. Why would you do that? Oh, my God.
Also,
Jesus.
Tom Smith, your parents didn't dig deep.
No, this Tom Smith. You're like, I'll name her Tommy Joe. Like, that's a poor girl. I feel terrible. Tom. So the way this works out here, Trina ends up clocking out of work at the convent, working at the convent.
Oh, boy.
Clocking out of work at the convent at 11 p.m. on February 18th, 1992. And she hops in the car with old Stevie Sexton.
Yeah, gonna give her a ride home?
Well, maybe not a ride home, but they're gonna give her a ride somewhere, or she's gonna give him one of the two. Now let's talk about their relationship, okay? Because it's man, have they had some? And
is it steamy?
It's steamy, you could say. It's steamy.
Volatile?
Well, if it's steamy, it's usually volatile. That's the thing after a while. So the volatility causes steam a lot of the times. It's a problem.
Steam causes volatility.
It's kind of like when if there's like an earthquake and a plate cracks, like steam comes out. You know, it's that's how it works. There's a lot of shit built up in there. It's one of those deals.
Yeah.
So Trina's relationships are interesting.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons.
Okay.
One of which is she's with Stevie Sexton tonight, possibly because her husband Thomas isn't around. Where is Thomas, you may ask? Well, Thomas is recovering in the hospital. He's been there for about 13 days after he set himself on fire.
Oh, how did that happen?
On purpose. It wasn't like working with chemicals and it went up in flames. He, on purpose, like a Buddhist monk, protesting the Vietnam War.
Self-immolating.
Set himself on fire, and now he's been in the hospital for 2 weeks dealing with that.
Oh, my God.
So while
whole body, arm, leg?
He's in the hospital for, I know, at least for like a month, so he's got to have a lot of burns. When you set yourself on fire, I assume you're really going after it because it wasn't an accident. So, but that's her. She picks winners, let's just say.
Real.
On August 25th, 1991, Trina was hospitalized for attempted suicide. Now, that wouldn't be that big of a deal here. It's a big deal for her, obviously, but I mean,
big deal, yeah.
In terms of the story, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, except that she didn't just try to hurt herself and then be like, I tried to hurt myself. She at first claimed that Stevie Sexton injected her with drugs to help her commit suicide, which wasn't true. She said that at first.
So
yeah.
But she did inject drugs?
Yeah, she later said no, she injected herself and said that actually Stevie Sexton tried to stop her and actually called police and ambulance for help when he found out that she tried to hurt herself.
You can't do that.
So she said
what if you do
he
die
did it
and
to
this
me.
guy goes to prison forever?
That's the point. That's
You
the
bitch.
point. This was because their relationship wasn't going well, and this was her way of ensnaring him, I believe, anyway, of trying to keep him in. So that's there's obviously mental problems there if somebody does that. Clearly, she needs some
She's a party. Yeah.
therapy at the least here. So now her mother said that Trina told her mother that that Stevie had injected her with, quote, some stuff he obtained at nursing school.
Oh, my God.
Some stuff. And also, her husband, Thomas Smith, will say later that that Trina told him also that Stevie had helped her try to commit suicide by giving her injections and stuff. Okay.
No.
That's insane. So later on, he will say this is how screwed up he is. You're thinking, wow, she's got some problems. Nowhere near this guy's weirdness. He said that he didn't inject her, but he also didn't tell her how to do it, but he said he wanted to help her. He didn't, but he wanted to. He said, quote, I wanted to because I love her and I wanted to help ease her pain, but I didn't help her. What the fuck is happening? What is wrong with you two? I want someone to come in and mediate this situation and go, you two get the fuck away from each other forever, number one.
I wanted to help her be more comfortable, even if it's killing herself. Dude.
Yeah. You therapy, separate sides of the country.
Nowhere near each other.
No contact whatsoever. No contact order. Restraining order goes both ways on this one. So at the same time, and this will come in, this is a big point of contention here. That's why we're bringing this up. They are super into bondage, okay? Sexual bondage. All sorts of shit we'll get into here. Trina, had discussed with her friends, family, and coworkers about her sexual relationship with the guy she's having an affair and her husband with.
Right. She's being very open with her kinks, which is fine.
That's fine.
You're married.
And at work, maybe not. Maybe. I feel like HR is going to have something to say about that. So rightfully so, probably.
Yeah. She doesn't do this for the fun of it. She does it for the story, which is a great person to party with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably a little on the codependent side, but she's also a nurse, and that's,
might go a little too far sometimes.
Yeah. She also would tell anyone that would listen, friends, family, coworkers, all these people, that she's having a really hard time choosing between old Stevie Sexton and her husband. Mm-hmm. She's like, I mean, this one ties me up and does all sorts of weird shit, but this one does this to me, and I kind of like that. He tried to help me commit suicide, but then he didn't. So I don't know. It's a hard decision here. She said she loved Stevie Sexton because this is what a quote from a coworker. She loved Stevie Sexton because, quote, he was good at sex.
Yeah, I mean,
good at sex, which is just so funny. When you say good at something, I don't know why. Yeah, you can be good at sex, but for some reason, it just sounds so weird because it's an objective thing. Good at, you know what I mean? And sex is always. No one on earth is really good at sex because you can't be good at it with everybody because everybody likes different shit. So good at sex would be figuring out. Being able to tell what people are into and being able to adapt to that. And
anytime I hear that, I just assume they are very enthusiastic.
I picture like a foreign guy going, I'm good at sex. Come on. You come with me. You come. We go out. Come on. I pay. I'm good at sex. You come. I have car, no roof, convertible, they say. Beautiful. You come.
You come, and then you come.
Hair in wind, then I fuck your face, okay? On beach. I fuck face on beach. Romantic, no? Okay. That's what I picture, though, when I hear
hair and wind, then my crotch hair in your face.
Lots of crotch hair. Oh, so much crotch hair. Oh, it's a lot. It's so much. Oh, man. It's going to get you.
Night of hair.
Oh, you're going to.
My hair.
I have toothpick and glove compartment. You're going to need. Trust me. You're going to have to pick lots of hair and teeth everywhere. Really choke you. All night. You go. Not good. Good at sex. He's good at sex and better than she was used to with Thomas Smith, the husband, which maybe is why he set himself on fire, because his wife is going around telling everybody.
I'd set myself on fire if I was bad at sex, too.
Yeah. This guy's you're not as good at sex as this guy is.
Oh, the worst news.
Fuck. I mean, his name is Sexton, though, so, I mean, he really had an advantage from the start.
He's Sexton.
He's the sexman. His name should be Sexman, not Sexton. She also said that because of his training, Sexton that is, as a licensed practical nurse at his regular job, he also could provide for her, and so could she. Together, they could make a decent income as a way for her children to have a stable life more than her husband, Thomas. So, it's a thing. So there's financial stability, things like that. This is all.
He fucks better and he's got more money.
Between sex and money, I mean, there's not a lot left out there. I mean, you got both covered. Normally, the guy with the money are like, I mean, he's got money, but he doesn't fuck me as well as the guy who I have to pay for his McDonald's. That's usually the problem. But this is an opposite problem.
And he fucks me.
It's interesting.
Those are the two things that you want in life. In a relationship.
Sex and money are good. Yeah.
I mean, those are the biggest bonuses. If all things are equal, trust, respect, all that stuff is equal.
Yeah. All that crap. You know what it is. Jimmie just skipped over all that. Blah, 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 trust, respect. Blah, 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 blah. But when you get to sex and money, that's what we're talking about.
Those are the bonus. When you got those, that's where I'm going.
Priorities Jimmie just laid out for you on a silver platter. That's everything. Sex and money.
That's all there is. Trust, money, respect, sex. That's it.
Yeah, but you left out two of those at first.
Yeah. Big ones.
The big ones.
The ones that keep it together.
Yeah, you left out fucking the king and the queen there. That's
yeah, sex and money are like the two reasons people kill each other.
Yeah. What else do people kill? You don't kill for respect.
No.
You don't kill for trust. You kill for fucking money and sex.
You kill for sex and money.
Anything you kill for, that is more important than something you wouldn't kill for. So, therefore,
maybe I'm right in the first place.
Sex and money. Well, in society, yeah, absolutely, you're right.
Yeah.
It's about sex and money. Half of these weird things we talk about.
It's crazy.
So, Sexton also would say that while they're dating, which is currently because they live together, but she's also still married, but he's in the hospital. You know how it goes. He would, the way he put it, she, meaning Trina, allowed herself to be bound with rope many times during sex. Yeah. Okay. He said during a 9-month relationship, they engaged in bondage sex approximately 50 to 75 times. So plenty of kinky shit going on. So
and there was other sex too happening.
I'm sure.
You don't just only fuck bondage.
And you don't jump right into that, probably. Right. So that had to take a couple months there. He's like, I'm going to tie your ass up and whatever the fuck went on here.
Starts with a spank.
She said that before her involvement with Sexton, she had also engaged in bondage a few times with her husband, Thomas. So apparently either she finds guys who are into tying chicks up or she likes to be tied up. One of the two. We're not sure. Or a little of both. It's a little column A, a little column B. So her coworkers all say that Sexton and Trina would argue and fight, and that Trina told them that Sexton would tie her up, handcuff her, hit her, and call her a whore, a bitch, and a slut while they had sex. And this was fine. Yeah, it's a bit much, but How many girls have you been with that said, call me either a whore, a bitch, or a slut at some point during the sex? Call me one of those things. It's
too much.
Yeah, I understand where it's opening the curtain, but they ask, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They'll be like, call me a whore, and you're like, okay, I guess you want to be like.
That's a bridge too far. I can't do it.
It's a hard thing to do there, but.
I like you. No.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that what you need? Like, what do you need?
Why does that make you come? What's happening?
The way the tone of voice you said that, I feel like you need that. Is that what that is? That's like if I don't say it within the next 10 seconds, this isn't going to work right for you. I feel like there's a timing.
Is that the clockwise motion? Is
this
that what you
is
need?
it? Okay, well, whatever.
All right,
so,
take it.
I mean, yeah. So she said that she wasn't really into being tied up, she told people. This is what she told other people, but then she did it with a couple of people. But if she was just kind of a go with the flow kind of
maybe she found the two guys
sexual
in town
partner,
to do it. Yeah.
That's what I mean. She said she allowed it because it turned Sexton on, and so she liked that it turned him on. That turned her on. She said the ropes and shit didn't turn her on, but she got turned on, then he got turned on. And she said that it just seemed to be part of sexual activity of what he did. So she was like, whatever, I'll jump in.
Okay.
I'll do that stuff. Now, cops have been called several times to mediate disputes between Trina and Thomas Smith and Trina and Sexton, both of them.
There's a common thing there.
Yeah. Trina filed for divorce in December, a couple months ago, in December 91, but no action was taken by either party by this point. So they just filed, but then didn't do anything for a few months, which that happens. But and Sexton and Tom Smith were also known to fight over Trina. They had been fighting each other. So this is a giant triangle. One of the friends said it was no secret that she was seeing both men. Like, they both knew about it. Everybody knew about it. It wasn't, she didn't hide it or anything.
She's telling everybody.
Yeah. June 1991, Tom Smith was charged with beating Trina, and then when the responding officer came to intervene and arrest him, because, you can't beat your wife, Tom Smith, quote, Jesus, cut him with a fillet knife.
Cut the cop?
Cut the cop with, yeah. Oh my God. He cut the cop with a fillet knife. So you can't do that, obviously.
Why is he out of jail to light himself on fire?
Well, he pleaded guilty to both charges in December, but then withdrew the plea, so it delayed it more. So he was out on bond there, because that sounds like a guy you want to let out on bond.
Yeah.
So on February 5th, Thomas Smith got into an argument with Trina. I'm sure she said, well, he's better at sex than you, or something like that. Yeah. So his response was to set himself on fire. That's what that was. So that's why by the 18th, by the time she gets off work and Sexton picks her up from work, he's in the hospital recovering from his burns.
There's not a stable person among them.
No, this whole thing's a fucking mess. It's absolutely a mess. On February 11th, Sexton had filed a report with police a week earlier from them hanging out now. Filed a report with police, and Trina was issued a summons charging her with breaking his car window. So a week, 7 days earlier, they got into an argument, and she broke his car window, and he called the cops, and she had to get, that's what's going on in this fucking relationships. This is while her husband's in the hospital for setting himself on fire, because this guy is, quote, more good at sex than him. So I don't even know. So
I wish I was there to see I don't want to see that, but I want to hear the argument that went before it.
I want to know what he said right before he set himself on fire. I want to know the words where he's like, well, I'm setting myself on fire now, or, flame on, or whatever the fuck he said. I don't know. If he had like a catchphrase.
Going, take it back.
Yeah. Did he have like a catchphrase that he planned out, though? Did he say something cool? Did he have like his own hasta la vista, baby? Is there anything?
Yeah.
Did he have that?
Your whole life go up in smoke, and he flips the Zippo open real cool like.
Pow, and then just drops it with his eyes all wide, and then stands there. I don't know. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe. proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro-laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Members of Thomas Smith's family said that she'd been going back and forth between the two men, living arrangement-wise, for the last 6 months or so. Just 1 week she lives with one week she lives with the other, so the whole thing's kind of been coming to a real head here. Thomas Smith's, Trina's father said that they always had arguments, the married couple, and that authorities had been called to arbitrate disputes between the two in the past, and they also had cops called to arbitrate disputes between Tom Smith and Steve Sexton. So there's not a combination in this group that cops haven't been called to intervene with.
Yeah.
Every pair is a bad pair.
Mixing all of them together, they all hate each other.
Absolutely. So they should all, I think, live in one house together and just learn to deal with each other. That's a reality show. So February 18th, 1992, Trina clocks out of work at 11 p.m. and leaves with Steve Sexton. We're back to the beginning here. So they leave. They drive off into the night. People see them leave. They all know. Everybody at work knows she left with him. And then, whatever they do that night. And then the next day comes along, and two men are driving along a dirt road a few miles outside of Atchison. That's never a good start. When two new people who we haven't talked about are introduced into the story as just drivers on a dirt road, something bad's about to happen. This is not good. It's not good.
There should be a third person in the bed of the truck that slides the window open and goes, "We're about to find a body, guys."
Yeah. Hey, everybody. They were just talking about people that had nothing to do with you, and now you're in a car on a dirt road. I think maybe... Oh, shit, there's an arm. Oh, man, there we go. See, I told you. Shit, goddamn it. Keep driving.
Our day's about to be real fucked up.
We ain't going hunting today like we thought we was. So, and they're driving, and they discover what appears to be, quote, a dead person, possibly a dead lady. Mm-hmm. Lying in a wooded area about 20 yards over the bank of the road. So they identify the person here, the body, as a female, approximately 5'2", 200 pounds, naked, with leaves and mud on her body and feet.
Okay.
Like kind of covered up, but just with some mud and leaves, not like buried or anything.
Started burying her and then was like, this is hard.
Someone was like, well, I mean, you wouldn't see her if you drove by. Shit, well, maybe you would. I think someone did that.
Looks like she's wearing real tree camo tights. I can't do this.
Yeah, well, this isn't the weird part, by the way. It's a much weirder part here. The leaves and earth around her body and up the embankment that she is at the bottom of seems to have been disturbed, like she'd been dragged down the hill. So you can see that this didn't happen here. She's been dragged here. Now, the weird part is not the fact that there's a naked woman, a naked dead woman sitting in. Did I mention she's dead? She's dead.
She's there, dead,
yeah. Otherwise, she probably would have had a quote from her. Like, hi, help, I'm buried in.
Be getting up to go get clothes.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
So the weird part is she is elaborately bound with ropes and pantyhose.
Oh.
Yeah, she had a nylon rope tied at her wrists that went up her back and around her neck several times, then down to her ankles where it was tied around her ankles.
Really
and then,
hogtied.
Yeah, except with the throat involved too.
Yeah.
And she had pantyhose wrapped around her neck under the ropes.
Oh.
So at first, the tension on the ropes was tight enough around the wrists, ankles, and neck that before they conducted the autopsy, the pathologist physically had to pull the ropes while an assistant cut them away.
Oh, Jesus.
With the exception of an abrasion on her forehead, however, there was no marks on her body indicating any struggle or resistance to this at all. There was no, bruising where the ropes were, where someone would struggle against them. This looked like a voluntary situation based on the science. So the pathologist will say that and it's Trina, they say that she died of a ligature strangulation from the rope ligatures around the neck. They say, though, he's unable to state with certainty. The pathologist concluded the ligatures around the neck were tight enough to cause a complete cutoff of air or near cutoff of air, resulting in death within 5 minutes. So he further opined that if the strangulation was self-induced, it would more likely be accidental than on purpose, because we know in 1992, it was kind of a dirty secret that people didn't know about, but now we know plenty of people die doing sex shit to themselves. It happens all the fucking time.
It's pretty rare that you do that out in the woods, though.
That's the well, it's pretty. You can't dump yourself there afterwards. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So to go out there, get naked, tie yourself all up, somehow cover yourself in mud and leaves, and then die like that is probably, she'd need help with that, we'll say.
That's at that to get there, to have to do all that to be able to come. You've really trudged through some wild shit.
Yeah, you got to go back to basics, I don't know. There's got to be a back to basics thing where you start over because...
Yeah, you need to try a non-vibrating dildo for a little while. Get back
Just
to a cucumber for a minute.
Get back to a cucumber?
A basic.
Jesus Christ.
A real manual.
A basic?
Real analog.
A cucumber's a basic?
That's as basic as it gets.
You sound like they hand it out to every 15-year-old girl. Here you go. Here's your weekly cucumber, young lady. Have fun. This'll get...
It's like 69 cents. That's as basic as it gets.
Their grandma gives it to them. Here you go, sweetie. Here's your weekly cucumber.
Here's your very first dildo, young lady.
There you are. Nope, you'll figure out how to use it. Scuffles her hair around, sends her on her way, There you go. Wow. So
go to the bathroom, take down your briefs. You'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out. Oh, my God. That is gross. So the doctor goes on to say, the pathologist, if her legs were tied up and she straightened them out, she would have lost consciousness, and just the weight of her legs, because of her obesity, may have been enough to keep tension on the rope.
Oh.
Just her legs dropping would have pulled it enough to cut off her air supply, he's saying.
Oh, shit.
He said that during the autopsy, he observed, and this is a quote from, I'll give you medical quotes here. During the autopsy, the pathologist observed evidence of stretching and a small laceration of the victim's anal mucosa. That might be the grossest two words ever put together. I mean, I understand it's scientific and this is medical, but holy shit. I hope you weren't eating chips and dip at that point, because it's not good.
Mucus is bad enough. You throw an A on the end of it, and it's worse. And then anal before it?
Jeez. Anything anal before it's going to add a little extra. I was going to say a little extra stank on it, but that goes without saying. Right? So they said... He concluded that although the stretching... Jesus, this is terrible. This is awful, but fuck, their anal mucosa is just...
That's horrible.
We're not doctors, so that's just
so you're
sounds
saying
gross.
The way she's tied so tight, even if just struggling to try to get her legs out would choke her.
Yeah, because she's got the rope tied from her ankles through her wrists around her neck. So if she moves her ankles, that's going to choke her. Like
my God.
It's one of those situations. So, which I guess would give you control unless you were unconscious, and then it wouldn't anymore. So they said that although the stretching could be old, the tear was recent. They said further, although the cause of the tear could have been from anal intercourse, the pathologist could not confirm the amount of penetration involved. Okay. Again, pretty gross. So the Atchison County Sheriff, Dennis Parker, said that Trina's body was found at 4:35 p.m., and they said she was strangled, according to the medical evidence here, approximately 10 to 16 hours prior to that time. Okay. So that would be right about the window of if you got picked up at 11 o'clock at night at work, because we know when that was, and then any time after that.
Right to it, yeah.
So obviously her husband's in the hospital burned up, so it definitely wasn't him. So
he's got a rock-solid alibi.
Rock solid. Steven, on the other hand, everyone knows that he likes to tie her up, and on top of that, everyone knows that he picked her up from work. So obviously he's the suspect. So he gives, on the day her body's discovered, they go and chit-chat him up a bit. He gives two completely conflicting counts of what happened.
That's not good at all.
No, that's bad. He first stated that he picked up Trina in his car after she got off of work, went to her house in Atchison, quote, made love, got into an argument, which seems like what they do.
Uh-oh.
This is all checking out so far. Made love, got into an argument, and he left her spending the night at his new girlfriend's house, who I'm sure... Wow.
Everybody's always fucking someone else.
Let's lasso. He's got enough ropes. Let's lasso somebody else into this fucking relationship that they can be a disaster. Several hours later, he said that after picking her up at work, he makes another statement several hours later, and he goes, I'm going to change what I said. I got a new story. Hold on, new story.
I forgot some things.
I forgot everything and told you guys something that wasn't true. Sorry about that.
The whole story's going to change.
Oh, they're complete. Where they went, what they did, everything changes. He said that he picked her up from work. Then they went to the cemetery because, oh my God.
Oh, no.
She knew that he always wanted to make it with her at the cemetery. That's his quote.
That phrase.
He just wants to make it with her at the cemetery. We're going to make it. He tied her up and they had sex in the back seat of the car while she was tied up. And at her invitation, he claims, he put pantyhose as a gag in her mouth. Okay. Now, he said that he tried to have anal sex with her but couldn't. He said that he didn't want to hurt her and he loved her. So, he backed it out of her ass. So, because he loves her so much. That's nice. What a gentleman.
Yeah.
This guy's a gentleman caller. He showed up with a corsage, I think, before this.
Sounds like old boy's bragging that he's got a huge rod.
Yeah, I think he's like, listen, you got to find the right girl to be able to take this fucking piece of equipment down there. You know what I'm saying?
I'd love to have anal sex with anybody, but I would fucking kill them.
I can't. One girl's still in the hospital.
Yeah.
It's just since 86. It's been a while. He said that after sex, she straightened her legs out. The binding around her neck was so tight he could not undo it, and she wasn't cooperating with him. He then started driving back to Atchison with her tied up in the car, still strangling herself. And as they crossed over some area, he heard a gurgle. He then said he didn't remember putting the body where it was found. That's a terrible story.
You just confessed to some really bad shit, Mr. Sexton.
And then said, I don't remember I don't remember fucking throwing the body away.
I don't remember
staging
doing the part that makes this really bad.
Yeah. Because if it's an accident, then you go and say, oh my God, we're having kinky sex and this happened. Right. And then you let the courts decide whatever that is. But when you dump a body, then cover it with mud and leaves, that looks guilty.
That shows you knew right from wrong.
Yeah, that's like wrapping your 3-year-old in duct tape and plastic and throwing them in a swamp and then going, well, I mean, I don't know. That's the same. It's literally the same thing. I don't remember that part. It's fucking crazy. So then he did all that. He said that later on he'll give a more detailed account. He's going to stick with this story, but later on, this is the one to go with because this one ties in her suicidalness because he says, well, she wouldn't let me free her. She was like trying to strangle herself with her own. Okay. This was a choice she made. You know, she Aaron Hernandez herself here. Chris Benoit.
Of my car.
Chris Benoit, the situation.
Where I easily could have stopped this.
Easily. I couldn't get the ropes off. Well, try harder. How's that?
Also, that's a bad story from a guy who just said he didn't want to hurt her. You're allowing her to hurt her.
And just driving with her. Yeah. That's the other thing. You're worried about her, but you're going to let her. You think about how she's bound. This is all behind her. It's like hogtied. Mm-hmm. That's not a safe way to ride in a car.
No.
It's really not. If he stops short, she is going to slam up against the seat. It's going to fall in the middle of a console in her ribs. This is terrible.
Rope and twine does not a seatbelt make.
No, also, this is awful.
He's a nurse. He knows what that gurgle is, man.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
He's very well aware.
So his more detailed account is he said that on the way to the cemetery, Trina had explained to him that she wanted to be tied up. Like, I want you to tie me up in the cemetery. She wanted the ropes up around her neck like they had done before, and she wanted a gag also. This is what they were planning. He also says that the rope was loose enough so that he could stick 4 fingers underneath at the victim's neck here, is what he said, at Trina's neck, and that the ropes under her wrists and ankles were not tight enough to cut off her circulation. He again, now he says later on he denies trying to have anal sex with her. Now he says that didn't happen, even though he said he did before.
That's all.
I thought about it. I was like, oh, that looks worse.
Yeah.
That just looks worse. He said he was, quote, unable to get stimulated for vaginal sex. So he couldn't get it up for vaginal sex, and she apparently couldn't get it done with anal sex. So he asked if she wanted the ropes removed, and when she said no, he left her in the back seat of the car and left to use the bathroom. No? All right. And he just left. He said when he returned, she was all stretched out flat on the back seat on her stomach. So he was afraid something had happened to her. You know, lack of breathing and shit.
Yeah.
Was a clue. He tried to untie the knots and then immediately started driving to the hospital when he heard Trina make a sound, quote, like trying to take a breath or something. Okay. Now we're going to go into quotes. He said, I stopped and opened the back door, got out and opened the back door. He said that twice. And checked to see, I was saying, that wasn't me reading it twice. He said that twice. And checked to see if maybe there was something I could still do for her. And when I opened the door, she just kind of rolled out of the car. Plop. Now what? He says, as I was getting ready to put her back in the car, I seen some headlights. I hate when I seen some headlights. That's terrible. I seen it. He said, I seen some headlights. And I thought at that time of the night, it could only be a sheriff or something like that. I mean, nobody else drives, obviously. There's no other people in Kansas but sheriffs. He said, and I got even more scared. And I thought, well, I'll just roll her over to the side, and I'll come back round. I'll come back round here in a few minutes and pick her back up and take her to the hospital.
What?
I'll just leave her. I'll just push her off to the side of the road in case the cops think it's me. I can get, little whoop-de-whoop dance around with them. They leave. I'll come scoop her back up again, take her on down for medical care. But that's, again, a terrible story. Not a good idea.
I'm going to put you right over here. I'll be right back. Look, there's a cop coming. You know, the people that help in situations like this.
This is his best story. This is his best story.
I don't want him to see this. I know that the shame might be too much for either of us.
Oh, man. I don't want to embarrass you, sweetie. That's what it is.
You're real naked and tied up. You're indecent.
Then he says, and as I was walking back to get in the car, she rolled on down the hill. She just rolled on, literally on down the hill, which makes it sound so much more. She just rolled on down the hill like she did it. Like, oh, goddamn, Trina's always rolling down hills. God damn it. This is serious. We got shit to do.
Rest her on her shoulder to where it's
rolled
just like
out down the hill.
a little wind, a little
What?
breeze, and
Yeah.
there she goes.
Was yakety sax playing in the background? What's happening right now? You know, what is going on? And
Folly.
this is ridiculous. And I really panicked from there, he said.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I would say so. That's what you're going to do. So he gave these statements to the Kansas Bureau of Investigation agent, and other law enforcement officers then conducted a search of his apartment and car. But all those stories were within a day of each other. That was just, yeah. So
Describes a real Ben Stiller scene.
absolutely. This is like, yeah,
Guy
this
can't
is
catch a break.
this is no. This is definitely like your girlfriend's dad's got you hooked up to a lie detector. You're like, wow. So,
Got irritable bowel syndrome.
oh man. They search his apartment. They take photographs of his bedroom and from the front room of his residence, as well as physical objects they confiscate over there. Okay, now we'll talk about those objects in a minute here. Trina's family said that they just now, once this is all happening, are learning about his violent temper. They said, quote, he had a violent nature. Guess he had it well hid. It doesn't seem like it. She told everyone she knew about it. And the cops, it's well documented.
It's public record.
In police records. This is a total surprise. There were rumors of trouble between the two, but to do what he did is just unreal. They said she enjoyed elderly people, working with elderly people. She didn't enjoy, you know what I mean. Yeah. She enjoyed cooking and needlecraft as well. Her sister said she was a hugger. Well, that's nice. That's good. They said that they'll never be able to forgive Sexton for what they think she did. Quote, what they think he did. Throwing her on the side of the road like a used piece of meat is unforgivable. Yeah, that's pretty. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. This, by the way, causes panic. The discovery of the body occurred nearly at the exact same time that authorities decided to characterize fire deaths of two brothers in town as a homicide as well, making 3 homicides in a week in a town of 10,000 people. So worried residents called both the police and sheriff's departments with reports of a 4th dead body then. So people started freaking out. It turns out there wasn't a 4th dead body, but it was a panic. The sheriff said, quote, we've had 25 calls. It's ridiculous. People do not need to panic. I don't know how things get blown so out of proportion.
Yeah, you do.
You do, because that's wow. So the evidence, there's the photos here that he doesn't want in. He doesn't want these admitted for his trial. Photos are a photo of the left side of his bed showing a restraint device hooked under the mattress around the bed frame. Photo of the right side of the bed showing a restraint device secured to the leg of the headboard. A photo of a bundle of white cord on his bedroom floor. A photo of a pair of handcuffs hanging on the wall in his front room. This place sounds terrifying. This place.
Yeah. If all of that stuff is in a bag, they call that a rape kit.
I was going to say, if Dahmer was alive, he'd be hearing this going, why didn't I think of that? Brilliant. That's what he'd be thinking. Jesus, this is like John Wayne Gacy's house. This is fucking insane. Or this is actually BTK's house, his dream house. This would be his bachelor pad. BTK's
dream house.
Yeah, BTK's Disneyland room, as he calls it.
I was going to say it's Disney.
Jesus Christ. Now, 2 notebooks that are called captain's logs, that are his like little diaries, a dog choker chain with a padlock but no key removed from the floorboard of his car, and a Bible with markers removed from the trunk of his car as well. Okay. The captain's logs here are 2 complete notebooks labeled captain's logs. These logs comprise more than 200 typed pages of, quote, this is according to him, according to Sexton, a combination of fantasy and diary prepared during a 3-year period of time from 89 to 92. All of his weird sex shit's in there.
Yeah.
These would be the creepiest things in the world to read. The state argues that the logs are admissible since they were relevant in corroborating evidence and probative with respect to Sexton's sexual fantasies and relationships with women in general. In addition, the writings detail his plans or desires to control certain women and on occasion to kill specified women, making their deaths appear to be suicides.
Oh, my God.
Therefore, these writings would be very relevant in a case where he's saying that he tied a woman up and she killed herself that way. So that's they said, yeah. So they allow the captain's logs. Also, the Bible with several markers in it recovered from his trunk. The state offers the Bible into evidence. They object. The defense says, Your Honor, I'm really trying to be open-minded about how this Bible fits in with bondage. And I think maybe that's stretching it. So I'm glad my client reads the Bible, but I'm going to have to object to the relevancy of it. Now, they admit the Bible, stating the Bible could be relevant just like erotic magazines could be relevant in some way. They said the passage from the Bible could be 2 in 1 sense, they said. So I don't know. They said the trial court, though, focused on the defendant marked in the Bible 2 Kings 9:30 concerning Jezebel's violent death. And he claims the court did not determine the relevancy of the Bible or this passage, so they shouldn't have admitted the Bible. Anyway, jury selection. I don't know shit about that, so I don't know. Jurors.
Well, I mean, you know what a Jezebel is.
Comes
from the Bible. And
yeah.
We've got a woman who's having sex with 2 different men.
I'm sure it's as a punishment, and if it's a biblical thing. It's not like, I'm sure they're not anti that. It's probably like, no, you should have been nice to her and took her out to dinner. So the jurors were not asked about their moral attitudes regarding sexual bondage. They were asked whether they knew what sexual bondage was and whether they believed they could listen to the evidence fairly and consider the case without bias or prejudice. Okay. Jurors responded affirmatively, and they limited the questioning, though, of prospective jurors on the subject of sexual bonding. Now, at trial, the defense's theory was that the death resulted from either an intentional act by her, she did it on purpose, or just an accident. Either way, not his fault. That's the main thing that we're trying to get across here. Not him. Yeah. Not the guy whose name is almost Sextie. He didn't do it. So, according to him, the binding was not tight, like we said. She could have done this. And also the prosecution sought to establish that he had extensive experience with sexual bondage, which could kind of go either way for his guilt. Maybe he knew how to do it well, so who knows. The dog choker chain's a big deal. They say that they removed a dog choker chain from between the driver's seat and the door of his car, right on the floorboard. The agent testified that when they were in Sexton's apartment, he saw no evidence that he had any dogs or cats or other pets. So the state offered the choker into evidence. The defense counsel objected and said, I'm trying to understand the relevancy there. The judge said the court finds that your objection should be overruled. They admit it. They said that I think the evidence that we've had concerning sexual bondage, this could be evidence concerning that, and it would be relevant. But the defense counsel said, I just haven't heard of any bondage regarding a dog choker chain. Well, you haven't been around very long, I don't think, with bondage. Yeah, I think that's probably seems like a standard piece of equipment. You know what I mean? If you're into that sort of
that comes with the starter kit.
That seems like it would be in the starter kit. That's an easy one for chokage, and you could pull on a thing. It would seem like that's what you'd be wanting to do. He said, so I guess maybe that's something new. No, even if it's 92, I think whoever wanted to be choked probably went, there's a chain where you pull it and it gets tighter. The first fucking thought they had was probably dog choker chain.
The invention of it was probably not for dogs.
No, it was probably sexual. It was to get some Victorian woman off. Maybe the woman from the Sally house. I'm not sure. It was to get her off.
I doubt that was first invented for dogs.
Yeah, probably not. The judge said, well, I guess I don't know anything about bondage, is what the judge said. I assure you, and I'll assure you, but I would think all that this all could be a part of it. I don't know. It could be relevant. Sexton testifies. He said that he was in shock after discovering she died after she was tied up. He said he was driving to the hospital. He said he was driving. He heard her gasp for air. He went to help her. He stopped the car, but she fell out when he opened it. And then the same thing. I rolled her body to the side of the road and planned to return for her later. Terrible story. I care about her so much. I left her naked, tied up, and unconscious on the side of the road for strangers to maybe do whatever with, just because, I care about her so much.
I did not try to penetrate her anally because I care about her. See, I did this out of love.
This is all love. His ex-wife testifies. That's not going to be good.
Oh, boy.
She testified about her sexual bondage experience with him during the marriage. She was allowed to testify that she and he, during their marriage, engaged in sexual bondage 40 to 50 times.
Jesus.
And so there's that. They said that, and the prosecution was like, well, then he knew how to tie knots and shit. He would have known that she could kill herself or could die. This is his fault either way. So they, his ex-wife said they engaged in bondage all those times, but he did put things around her neck, but he never choked her. She said that he, quote, demanded bondage, and that she did it more or less willingly because she wanted to save the marriage. And at times when she objected, he forcefully tied her up, and then he often left her tied up while he did other things.
Jesus.
Wow. So that's not great, but it was offered to corroborate the state's contention that one so experienced knew how to accomplish the act of sexual bondage without causing harm to the victim there, which, I mean, yeah, but accidents happen at the same time. But this wasn't an accident. They said, the court said evidence has been admitted of other similar sexual bondage acts of the defendant. And they said this evidence may be considered solely for the purpose of proving the defendant's intent and or absence of accident and or corroborating the evidence concerning sexual bondage in this case. That's the instruction he gave the jury on it. So he never denied the acts, but still. Now, the verdict comes in with this jury.
Yeah.
What do you do here? Because, I mean, guilty of second-degree murder is what he gets.
Yeah.
Second degree. Yeah, it's not a premeditated, but it's you can't dump a naked, unconscious, tied-up woman on the side of the road, have her roll down a hill and go, I'll come back later. Even if you didn't mean to strangle her to begin with, which I kind of think he did. I'm just saying.
He may not have meant to strangle her, but I think he was looking over the seat while driving, saying things like, "You're going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt yourself."
I think he strangled her. I don't know.
Think so?
I think they got in a fight and he strangled her. I don't know. Maybe. It's hard to tell. Either way, you can't do this. Right. So sentencing comes around. You, sir, may fuck off 15 years to life.
Okay.
15 to life.
Stretch.
It's second degree, so that's what you get. 94, he appeals 2 years later. They said that claiming that his former wife's testimony should not have been admitted because of marital privilege was his claim.
You're not married to her.
Yep. It said, quote, the defendant cannot raise points on appeal which were not presented to the trial court. They said, well, yeah, you can't. You should have brought that up at trial there. And even if we were to consider his contention, the communications offered at trial were not confidential. The entire question has been the subject of a custody dispute on the record between him and his former wife over their daughter. This was all on court records that you could have got without her testimony is what they're saying. So affirmed, keep fucking off. 2019. Will he be on parole? That's his earliest parole dates, 2019. They're saying, will they do it? They say that though they're having a whole thing. There's comment sessions that you get to have. So basically, the parole board and the state's going to hear from anybody who wants to tell how they feel about it, and then they're going to do the parole. So and weigh that. There's several different locations where you can go and argue and say he's a piece of shit and you shouldn't let him out, or you should let this guy out. All over the place. And all over Topeka, Kansas City, everywhere you can go. Now, the law, parole-eligible inmates are required to receive a hearing, but that doesn't mean that their eligibility is the same as parole suitability. To determine suitability, the Kansas Parole Board considers 10 elements of criteria: crime, prior criminal history, program participation, Jesus, there's a lot of alliteration here. Disciplinary record, physical and mental health examination reports, comments received from the victim or victims' families, the public and criminal justice officials, prison capacity, input from staff where he was housed, and proportionality to sentence guidelines and risk factors revealed by any risk assessment.
So many variables.
So many variables here. By the way, here is his list of disciplinary reports since January 96. This is 96 to 2019. Okay. And I won't go through the years, but work performance, violation of published orders, dangerous contraband, unauthorized dealing or trade, dangerous contraband, less dangerous contraband, dangerous contraband, less dangerous contraband, tattoos and body markings, dangerous contraband, disobeying orders, less dangerous contraband.
He's a terrible inmate.
Disobeying orders happened right before the parole thing came up, by the way, too. That was the last one. And he is not paroled in 2019, but October 10th, 2022 just happened. God damn it. I've had this this is wild. He is paroled in state.
Oh, shit.
This is a year after he was found with less dangerous contraband as well, because in 2021. Yeah, he just got released. He's out there.
God.
So somewhere in Kansas, he's wandering around looking to tie somebody up because this guy's only 60.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still horny. So
yeah, he's
careful.
A filthy old man.
Careful. I don't know.
Oh, boy. And
by the way,
Tinder's out. There's so many ways for him to find people.
So many ways for him to find women, but at least maybe he'll find women who want to be tied up.
Yeah,
So he doesn't have to but still, don't kill them. Jesus, I hope he didn't. I don't know what happened, but there's a lot of Steven Sextons, though, that you could mix up with.
Yeah.
Crime and sports, we do mistaken identities, but this is the most I've ever seen of somebody when you look it up. Steven Sexton, I found he's an author of books. Steven Sexton's a financial advisor with Edward Jones. Steve Sexton's in the Texas Horse Racing Hall of Fame. That's a weird. I bet you never thought that was going to come out. Steve Sexton, a Canadian producer, musical director, and conductor. And a guy who is running for a state Senate seat in the Republican primary for Alabama Senate District 22 as well.
That's our guy.
That's our guy. So there is Atchison, Kansas, and some weird, creepy shit. That's the most we've ever talked about bondage in an episode. I know that.
It's crazy, too, because you'd think that there's more of it happening in that community.
They're repressed.
The choking is so fucking hard sometimes.
And it's very common. So I don't know. There's Atchison, Kansas. If you like that story, tell everyone about it. Tell the world. Get on whatever app you're on and give us 5 stars. It really does. It helps. It helps drive us up the charts. Tell your friends as well. Post on social media. That's the best way to spread the show. Thank you for doing that, everybody, because it really, really helps. You're a fucking hero if you do that, honestly. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Tickets for 2023 live show on sale. All the shows through May are on sale. The rest go on sale early 2023. We have first up, Cleveland, February 10th, St. Louis, February 11th. Those are getting close to sold out. Get your tickets right now. They make great Christmas gifts, holiday gifts. Get them. Holy shit, we can't wait to be there in Cleveland. And if you sell out Cleveland, I will not make fun of you anymore. That's the deal. Neither of us will. For a little while, at least another year until you fuck up again. So there's all of that. Yes, do that. Head over to patreon.com/crime and sports. All your bonus episodes, anybody $5 or above, you're going to get access to everything, both shows stuff, new shows every other week. This week, we're going to talk about worst comedy gigs. Only one bonus this week. Yeah. Only one time a year we do it, and that's Christmas. Yeah. We got a lot of family stuff to do and stuff like that. Worst comedy gigs, and we'll talk about our favorite and least favorite Christmas songs as well. All of that, patreon.com/crime and sports, and you'll get a shout out at the end of the regular show, obviously, like that. Social media, we are at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Small Town Pod on Facebook. Follow us, get all the updates, do that. Keep coming back week after week.
Wrap it up.
That said, everybody, until next week, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.